Welcome to the information session for the new program Compost Up Downtown. I'm here, my name is Lauren Clemens with my friends and partners, Andrea and Ryan Conway from Earthkeepers. This is a new City of Bloomington Earthkeepers program for Bloomington Arts and Entertainment District restaurants in the downtown. Like I mentioned, my name is Lauren Clemens. I serve as the Assistant Director of Sustainability, and I will be the program administrator for this new Compost Up Downtown program. I'm in the Department of Economic and Sustainable Development, and our mission is to foster a livable and economically resilient community through partnerships, collaboration, and strategic initiatives. So as part of this program, I will be your point person for providing application review and assistance anytime throughout the program, as well as serving as a point of contact for general questions. For more specific questions about waste and waste audit and other things that we'll get to a little bit later, that will be Earthkeepers. So funding for this program is available through the city's Recover Forward initiative. And to find out more about the Recover Forward initiative, you can go to our website at bloomington.in.gov/recover forward. So next I wanted to allow Andrea and Ryan an opportunity to introduce themselves and Earthkeepers.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, so my name is Andrea, and this is?
I'm Ryan.
And we are co-owners of Earthkeepers. And Earthkeepers is a women-owned, minority-owned benefit corporation. We incorporated in 2018, and we've been collecting organic waste in residences, institutions, corporations ever since. And we've also been doing consulting services to help these organizations reduce the amount of food waste that they generate. Do you want to say anything?
And what you'll get to see in just a few minutes is a short video of one of the commercial kitchens that we first started working with, and that's the AD Pie Sorority Commercial Kitchen. You'll get to hear from Chef Carlton and his experience in the kitchen with our services. And that's the thing about our services, is that it's triple bottom line. You know, it's people, it's profit, and planet. And that's what we want to help bring to the business community in Bloomington.
Yeah, and so with the video, you'll see, instead of us explaining to you what our services look like, this is a really nice way for you to just see it with your own eyes.
My name is Sandy McDonald. I am the house director at Alpha Delta Pi Sorority, and we're in our backyard with our garden. We grow stuff. We actually submitted our thing to get be considered an official commercial garden. My idea was to continue modeling the whole idea of composting, recycling, paying attention to where your food comes from. So it's not just a garden. It's a garden that supplies the things that we really can use in a kitchen for a sorority.
Hi, I am Carlton Sanders. I am the head chef at the Alpha Delta Pi House. Make a lot of food, yes. I've been working with Earthkeepers, and it's been integrated to our day-to-day operations. But as soon as we implemented the actual buckets and everything, the entire process actually became easier. We were more fluid in our workstations, which actually cut down prep time, and knowing that that waste is no longer wasted, it's actually utilized, is what gives me a clear conscience. If it composes, it's easy enough to, and is organic, you throw it in the bucket. Everybody gets the concept pretty quickly. Everybody jumps on board. Earthkeepers comes about once or twice a week, depending on the volume that we have. Sometimes it's a little bit more. If we need them to come, we'll just give them a call and they'll show up. Before we started working with Earthkeepers, we would throw all our produce in just a regular trash can. And if you ever work in the kitchen before, you know that produce is very heavy, and that leads to a lot of ripped bags. Also, if you have staff that have problems with lifting heavy things, this actually divides the amount of garbage in between two spots so that you're not picking up heavy garbage. I think that working with Earth Keepers is a great idea for any commercial kitchen because of green movements that are throughout universities and just throughout the country. People are moving towards more of a green, eco-friendly environment, and that can be done in so many different ways. There's so many different ways to help the environment.
We have women who are some chapter members who are truly interested in the gardening. They'll come and say, "Oh, I'm moving in here. I love plants. I really want to help you." And then we also have some incentives. So like they need to earn positive points to get a good parking spot or to get the room they want. So they will come and help me in the garden and earn positive points. And since it's dirty work and it's outdoor work, I always give them nice points for that. When we first started composting, it was because we told them they had to scrape their food in the bucket. Now they want to know, where's the compost bucket? They don't know what to do with the food because there's no compost bucket, and they recycle. And now it has become finally a habit. They can't even live life without doing this now. AD Pie is about taking care of each other. When we take care of the garden, it's all part of caring.
It is as easy as it gets working with Earth Keepers. It is just throw it in a bucket and that's it.
Thank you for that great video. Next, we want to talk about who is eligible for this program. So this is a new program and it's focused towards downtown restaurants, so permanent retail food establishments in the Bloomington Entertainment and Arts District. And I'll talk a little bit more on the next slide about where exactly that is. But generally downtown Bloomington are eligible for this program. If you have any questions about whether you're in this district, feel free to contact me as well. Our other stipulations are that you have to be current with your Monroe County Health Department permanent retail food establishment license, and you must not be a current Earth Keepers customer already. At this point in time, this particular program is not eligible for mobile food vendors, but maybe in the future we'll have another program specific to food trucks. So where are we focusing for this particular program? So like I mentioned, it's called the Bloomington Entertainment and Arts District, and it's focused on downtown. It's in the area circled on this map. And this is a state designated cultural district and a city-led economic development project. And our goal through this project is to support not only restaurants, but also galleries, performing arts venues, public parks, hotels. And we think that this particular program will help increase the vibrancy of the downtown as well by making it more sustainable and help restaurants integrate into part of being a green business. So as you can see on the map, the district ranges across Kirkwood, north up to 9th, and then down along Restaurant Row. So there's over nearly 100 restaurants that are part of this area, and due to the high concentration of restaurants in this area, we chose to focus on this area first as the potential of having the greatest impact, and also due to the density of restaurants that will help facilitate pickups more easily. And then what's included if you decide to participate. So participating restaurant and retail food establishments will receive the following during their 3-month trial. Like mentioned in the video, there will be weekly collection, and the frequency of that collection will depend on assessed needs during the waste audit. So that includes the 32-gallon stamped rollers, and there were a couple of pictures of generally what that looks like in the video, and have them replaced, sanitized, as well as the buckets, like you saw the person carrying out of the kitchen, both 5-gallon and 1.5-gallon pails, depending on what works best for your space. And throughout the program, you'll have a waste audit, so that will help determine where the bucket should go. Trained staff and Earth Keepers will speak a little bit to more of what that includes on the next slide. And then in terms of promotion for participating, we want everyone to know that you are a participating business. So there will be a window decal specific to the program that you can put on your window downtown, as well as promotion on the Earthkeepers website. And this particular incentive package is unique to the program. I developed it in coordination with Earthkeepers. So the city of Bloomington's covering the value of the 3-month collection and all of everything that's included on the slide. So that's valued at about $5,000. So this is a great opportunity to reduce any sort of technical barriers that you may have in terms of getting started with composting, and a great way to get set up for longer term success in continuing to compost. And next, we will discuss what the waste audit is. So Andrew, if you could explain a little bit more what that includes.
Yeah, sure. So the program starts with the waste audit. So the way we would start with a restaurant is we go to the restaurant and we would become familiar by going into the kitchen and trying to understand what the flow of the back of house is. How the kitchen staff are cooking, how they're managing waste currently. And so we will help to set them up with an additional bin, which will be the one for organic waste. And the waste audit really consists on trying to understand how much organic waste is being produced, right? Because most restaurants right now are putting everything in one bin. And so in our experience, when we come first to a kitchen and we ask them, well, how much organic waste do you think you're generating? This is a question that most restaurants just don't know. And so that's kind of like the start point, is to understand how much is being produced and what kind of waste is being generated. And so that process normally takes around 2 weeks. And during that period, since the restaurant will already be collecting organic waste, we will be coming to remove the waste kind of like ad hoc and trying to figure out with what frequency we actually need to come once the actual collection schedule starts. And so during the waste audit, we will determine the amount of waste that is being produced, how many rollers are being filled on a weekly basis, and how frequently we need to come. Another part that gets determined during the waste audit is that has to do also with each restaurant's space resources, is like how many rollers can they hold on at a given moment. We have restaurants that can hold up to 3 rollers, and then we have restaurants that can barely hold on to one just because the space limitations are a real thing. And so we determine all these components through the audit, and then we can move on to the collection phase of the program, which is going to be a quarter, so 3 months. And through that quarter, we will go through the process of collecting on whatever schedule and frequency that we've determined. And the idea is that through the waste audit and identifying all the organic materials that are being wasted, we can also help restaurants analyze their waste and go back to the procurement phase of when before waste is generated, and try to analyze what can be reduced from that side of the stream. Do you want to add anything?
Sure, I'll just add a little bit more about the business case for this and why it starts with a waste audit. Most research on food service sector waste shows that it's one of the biggest loss categories for restaurants. Food waste accounts for about 40% of the waste in the United States, and that parallels with Monroe County. Is about 40% of the waste total in Monroe County is potentially compostable food waste. But for restaurants in particular, the waste audit helps a lot because it allows a manager to get a handle on the process from farm to fork. Because as we know in business, what gets measured is what gets managed. And if you're not measuring your waste, you're not managing your waste. So you're losing out on labor hours and procurement costs when you're buying too much food. So about 4 to 10% of the food that is procured by a restaurant won't make it out to a plate. It'll either be spoiled in inventory, it'll either be trimmed off and not reused for a stock of some sort, or it will be overproduced and not all of it will go onto the plate, or some of it will fall off. So just tackling that 4 to 10% of your procurement cost by measuring and beginning to manage what you measure is just one way. We all know, we are a small business as well. We understand that there's a staffing crisis that's ubiquitous. Staff retention is a big deal for this because not only, did IBM's employee survey, I think conducted last year, show that, You know, over 80% of searching employees are looking for jobs that are in the sustainability sector. It's also the case that, according to OSHA, in restaurants, slipping and straining from back strain from lifting are the number 3 injury category in a restaurant space. So having a roller that rolls in and out of a kitchen, or having a tiny bucket that you just kind of carry, it's a lot less strain on the backs of an employee. So they're going to want to stick around. And when the food waste isn't all mixed together with every other bit of waste, making it heavier and nastier and harder to carry outside, that's less injury, that's less yuck, and that is a company that a staff member would want to come back to and keep happily serving the public. And then the third part of the business case is that this is client attraction. More than ever, green considerations, sustainability considerations, resilience considerations, these are becoming top of mind for where the purchasing power is in the demographics in the United States. And so angling our production methods and our community outreach to show off and highlight the things that we are doing for worker justice, like reducing injuries and having a fun, sustainable place to work, but also committing to making more efficient processes, which is better business overall anyway, but efficiency also has environmental benefits as well. So it all starts with the waste audit, where we find out how much food waste you're wasting, and we help identify for you what categories of waste are you over procuring. So that's the first thing that you can start slicing percentages of cost off and boosting up your revenues. Your revenues are then going to go up when you don't have to waste so much time on retraining and retraining staff because people leave. They're going to want to stay with your business. They're going to want to be part of the waste handling process because they're going to know that that's going to be part of why they tell their friends and family to come to that business, because it's green, because it treats its workers right, and because it's helping to revitalize downtown Bloomington. We are recovering forward together, and this is really a way that businesses, restaurants that are struggling, that got pinched harder than anybody else, can start to cut costs right away, cut all that waste out, boost that staff retention, and then boost that client attraction, all through a green service that gives you measurable business analytics. And we are here to help you do that.
Thank you, Ryan. Also wanted to mention that we know that this program won't cover everyone that might be interested in composting. And so if you are a different customer type and you're ready to start composting, that recommend filling out the inquiry form, and Earthkeepers can get back to you with more information about how they can help you compost outside of this program as well. So a little bit about how to get involved. The funding announcement went out on March 1st, and we're here today at the March 7th information session. You can find the application at bloomingtonin.gov/sustainability/compost. And that's just a fillable Word doc. Fill it out, send it to me along with your Monroe County Health Department permanent food establishment license, and I will review those about 7 days after the application deadline. We have 4 cohorts for this program. And if you're wondering what a cohort is, basically the city of Bloomington has funding availability to support 16 restaurants participating in this first version of the program. So the organizations will be selected in 4 groups of 4 to participate in the program. And the first one, cohort 1, will begin in April with applications due March 25th. So if you're ready to get started, recommend getting an application in and submitting it as soon as possible. If you want to participate, but now is not a great time, there's other times throughout the year. Applications will be accepted on a rolling basis, and you just indicate which cohort would be your preference. So we'll do our best to try to match your preferences with timing, with the availability of space. And so the other application deadlines are June 10th, September 9th, and January 13th of next year. So that means that throughout the course of the program, we'll have 16 Bloomington restaurants downtown beginning composting. And once your 3 months trial ends, then Earthkeepers can work with you to determine what the best fit is with continuing service. Also, just wanted to highlight some current Earthkeepers restaurant customers. They of course have many other types of customers, but those include restaurants like Chick-fil-A, Blooming Foods, Hopscotch, Switchyard, Tap Brewery, 26 Bakery, Small Favors, and their 2021 impact was huge with 300 tons of food waste diverted, 75 tons of methane prevented, and over 1,700 equivalent tons of CO2 avoided. So they're a wonderful community partner and very experienced working in the sector and really excited about this partnership moving forward. So again, just wanted to reiterate some steps to participate. It's pretty easy. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either myself or Andrew and Ryan, and we'll be sure to answer those via email or however works best for you. And then just complete the application form by the deadline. If you have any issues completing the application form, please reach out as well. I'm happy to help you with any questions you might have during that process. Number 3 is just get approved for participation, making sure that you are in the eligible area. And then at that point, we'll work on getting you started with the program and working with Earthkeepers to get your waste audit and staff training scheduled at a time that works for both of you. At the point that the 3-month trial period ends, then you'll receive some discounted quotes to continue service with Earthkeepers, and it will be your decision about whether to continue. We'd love to see you continue to compost outside of this program. And then at the end, we'd really like program feedback. So this is the first time that we're doing this. We're going to continue to iterate and improve based on feedback from participants and try to make this as helpful as an experience as possible and continue to have the most impact as possible. So at this point, if you have any questions about the program, please feel free to contact me at lauren.clemens. And that's Lauren.Clemens@bloomingtonin.gov. We also have a website set up with not only the information that was in this information session, but additional information about the program. And you can find that at bloomingtonin.gov/sustainability/compost. And we are looking forward to working with you.